to the MTR Network. I am Shanna, and I am here with the Doctor. And we are back for the first time in 2017 to discuss the web series on CWC, Vixen. Say hello.
Howdy.
Yeah, sorry guys, we just been cracking.
We've been talking for a good 30 minutes.
We've been cackling at Salt Bay and all types of stuff. This is like totally unprofessional.
Bitmoji broke themselves today by releasing the Bitmoji for so you can be so I don't understand.
I'm all for it. This is great. So, Vixen. How much do you know about Vixen from the comics?
Just what I learned from the CWC show. I own that.
Yeah, I was kind of like, I knew of her vaguely, actually from Tumblr. There's this Tumblr that I follow that's DC Women of Color. And that, like, she would come up a lot on there, one, because she's one of the few women of color in DC, and then also, I think, because I feel like only recently did they start adding a lot more women of color characters, and also, what's the word, race bending some of their characters, like now Helena Bertinelli in the comics is black, or mixed race. You know, and then like other than, you know, kind of like the side characters in the comics, like in Batgirl, she has her like kind of best friend sidekick character, Frankie. And also they have like another woman of color in that comic, Nadia. And then some of the Flash characters also are women of color. Some of the like other Flashes are women of color. But yeah, so not a lot of black women in the DC universe in terms of like characters who have been around, like, and were of color from the beginning, from their conception. So I kind of knew of her vaguely. Also, her powers seem kind of corny to me. Like,
well, you know what it is? It's always it's a trend that you notice in characters that have been written for years, and I get the sense she's an older character. I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong, listeners. But where all the black characters their powers are steeped in some kind of mysticism.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed the character, but I did kind of side-eye it, especially season 2, where it was really fleshed out, and I was just like,
yeah,
must we?
And that's the thing is, so she was created in 1978. So and she's the first African female DC superhero. So I guess like similar to Luke Cage, not necessarily in the coming out of the blaxploitation kind of background, but definitely coming out of that same time period. And she was kind of revived in 2008. This is the series that I've been meaning to read, Vixen: Return of the Lion, and that was written by G. Willow Wilson, who's currently writing Miss Marvel.
Okay.
So I've been meaning to read that because I've never read any of the Vixen comics. But yeah, and she's also kind of comes out of or is inspired by the stories of Anansi, the spider. Because he was a character in African folklore that's kind of a trickster and a shapeshifter. And if for anybody who's read American Gods, Anansi, Mr. Nancy is a character in American Gods, who's a spider, but also a storyteller and a shapeshifter. So it comes out of that kind of tradition. But yeah, so last summer, I believe it was summer 2015, that CW announced that they would have this web series for the character of Vixen, to which we all were kind of like, Okay, that's cool. So is she gonna have like a live action series? Like, can a sister get a CW show? Um, like, yeah, I feel like that was everybody's kind of sentiment. Um, but they do these. It's like six, about 5 minute episodes, and altogether the whole season is about a half hour. So they're real quick to watch. You can watch them either on the CW website, or you can download the CW Seed app and watch them there. And once the season is done, they kind of put all the episodes together so you can just watch them all the way through as like a half hour episode. What kind of sucks is that you get like one season a year, and basically you're like waiting a year for a half hour.
Yeah. But the half hour is usually good.
Yeah, no,
You're still waiting a year for it.
it's a solid half hour, but you're like, didn't Batman the animated series do like 22 episodes? Like, yeah, wait a whole year for 30 minutes, but okay. Um, so we're going to talk about the first two seasons. The first season was basically an introduction to the character. Um, Vixen, who we've also, so after Megalyn Echikunwoke,
Mm-hmm.
after she voiced the character of Vixen in the CW series, in the animated series, they then asked her to play Vixen on Arrow. Um, then when Legends started up, they wanted to have Vixen be on Legends, but Megalyn had a conflict with another
Yes,
movie. I think she was
she was.
doing.
Yeah, no, she was doing Damien
Oh
at the
yeah, she was
time.
doing Damien, and that got canceled, and people were like, "Yay!" But then
She had already signed
she
on
had
to
already
something
signed up.
else.
Yeah, so it's like,
She's busy.
which is fine. I love Megalyn.
Yes.
So instead, what they did was they introduced Vixen on Legends via her grandmother, basically, like great
Yeah.
grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
as
No, I thought
one,
it's her grandmother.
her grandmother. Okay, as part of the original the JSA,
Yeah.
since Legends hops through time, and that version of Vixen is played by Maisie Richardson Sellers.
And can I just say they did an excellent job casting because they look related. Oh my God, they
Yeah,
look
they look
related.
related. Also, Maisie used to be on the originals. So I think she has some sort of deal with CW. She also was briefly in The Force Awakens. Her part was supposed to be bigger in Force Awakens, but it got cut.
Was she the one that was looking towards the sky as the planet was about to be destroyed?
Yeah. So there was more backstory there where you were supposed to find out that like she was like she was working with General Leia, and Leia was supposed to go, and she goes in Leia's place instead, and that's why she's on
Oh,
the planet when it gets blown up.
dang. Leia stay escaping this shit.
I know,
Because
right?
remember, she escaped Alderaan before it got blown up.
I know. It was like a whole thing where like she went in Leia's place because they find out that there are people trying to assassinate Leia. So she goes in Leia's place, and then the planet gets blown up. Yeah,
Leia got a lucky charm. Damn.
really does. So yeah, uh the original Vixen character is, her name is Mari Jiwe McCabe. And her backstory is basically that she's from Detroit. So this is also one of the few DC superheroes that lives in a real city.
Yeah,
Like,
Detroit
yeah,
City.
like just straight up Detroit. Like, it's not Coast City, Gotham, Metropolis. It's just straight up
Star
Detroit.
City,
Yeah,
Central City.
all these made up places. Um,
That seemed, and all of them seemed to have city on the back end of them. Like, yeah, we know it's the city. Thanks. But anyway.
I just want you to know. So she's from Detroit, and she is adopted. She doesn't know who her family is, um, but she is given this totem, this necklace that came from her birth parents, from her birth mother, and that totem gives her the power to basically have the strength. agility, whatever abilities of various animals. So she can kind of call on those powers. And, generally it's like, if she wants to run really fast, she like calls on the power of like a panther. She wants to be really strong. She like calls on the power of like a gorilla, like that kind of thing. Yeah. So it's like I really like how they do it in the animated series, and I think they've done a good job of bringing it to the live action series. I can imagine that, like, similar to like Vampire Diaries or the originals, like you really have to like practice in the mirror how you're gonna like they always say, like the people who play vampires on like Vampire Diaries, they're like, you can't just show up to set and be like, I'm a vampire. They're like, you have to kind of practice in the mirror because it is really silly and you have to like get it right to make it believable. And I imagine it's the same way when you have to be like, and now I'm as strong as a gorilla. Because I think Maisie and Megalyn do a good job of like making it not feel like silly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Because I hate to say it, it feels it in the animated series. It felt sillier than it did in the live action, and
yeah.
I didn't think that was possible. You know.
Because sometimes you're just like, what? But I think in the animated series, it's easier to do because it's just like you see the like outline of the animal behind her, and then like she's just kind of like fighting or whatever, right? But
Mm-hmm.
like in the TV show, it's like similar. You see the outline behind it, but I imagine like if you're a person that's like, run, 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 I'm a panther. But I think they do a pretty good job. The other really cool thing about the series is that they have all of the live action actors from the CW shows do the voices of their characters on the animated series. Um, so all of it is integrated, unlike the DC animated movies where they kind of get different voices each time. Like it's always Stephen Amell doing Oliver Queen and Grant Gustin doing Barry Allen. So I think that's pretty cool that they get all of them to do it.
Oh, that was awesome. I was watching it with Baby Boy, and he was listening. He's like, wait, is that the people from the actual show? I was like, yeah. He's like, they got the people from the actual show. He was just shocked. Because, like you said, they usually get someone who can approximate a good voice, or just the voice doesn't sound anything like the live action.
Mm-hmm. And they also like have supplemented it with other really good actors. So throughout the course of season one, you find out that Mari has a sister. So she
Mm-hmm.
thinks that she's the only one who, like, she doesn't know what happened to her family. She finds out they were from this village that was attacked, and she thinks she's the only one who survived. And then she actually finds out that she has a sister, Kuasa, who also survived. And the sister is voiced by Anika Noni Rose, aka, as Jamel would call her, Tiana. Princess Tiana. And then there's also a professor that Mari goes to find out more about the totem, because of course there's a professor in Detroit who's an expert on the exact village that Mari's totem comes from.
Of course, which is suspect. I didn't trust that fool.
And you were right to not trust him. And
Mm-hmm.
that character is
Mm-mm.
voiced by Sean Patrick Thomas, who people may remember from Save the Last Dance. He's the black guy from Save the Last Dance.
He's also the asshole from Barbershop, the asshole barber.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I always
Yeah.
forget he was in that movie. He's always the guy from Save the Last Dance, and what was the other one that he was in? Cruel Intentions.
Wait, he was in Cruel Intentions?
Yeah, he's the piano teacher, Selma Blair's piano teacher that she's sleeping with.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah,
Lord.
I know.
Oh, yeah, the awkward sex.
It's so
Ew.
awkward. I love that
Yeah.
scene. So it's like a really good voice cast actually. And then there was one other person. Oh, the voice of Mari's biological mother is done by, I am not gonna mess up this woman's name, Tox Olagundoye. She is an actress. She's from Nigeria. She's been in Castle.
Oh.
Yeah, she's played like a rival spy on Castle. She's also been in Switched at Birth. Some other. She's done a lot of theater work as well. I saw her picture and like immediately recognized her, but she hasn't done too much in the States anyway. But I like her. I like that actress. I like that they've, for these black characters, they have a lot of black voice actors.
That is great.
Yeah.
Oh, as an aside, since we're talking about black voice actors, has nothing to do with this, but I had to throw it out here because Moji pointed out to me when we did the Saw Gerrera arc on Clone Wars, the lady who plays Saw's sister Steela, the voice actress, Charlie from Queen Sugar.
Yeah. I looked that
I
up
did
too.
not know that. I was like, what?
Yes. I looked that up because I was like, what else has she been in? Especially because then she showed up at Luke Cage at the same time as Queen Sugar. I was like, how she just popped up? Because
girlfriend, like I'm supposed to get all the roles.
But that's the thing with black actors is like, by the time you've noticed them in like 5 different things, that means they've already been grinding for years. So it's like,
that is true.
You look them up and it's like, no, this person did not come out of nowhere. The reason why they have 4-5 jobs now is because they've been grinding for years. The other thing I did look up, because Vixen has shown up in other DC animated stuff, and in the past, she was voiced by Gina Torres and also by Cree Summer. So they've both played Vixen before.
Who? Cree Summer?
Yeah.
Did you say Cree Summer? I love Cree.
She's the best. Like, if you need a black voice actress, you gotta get Cree Summer at least once. So the first season is basically, you get the setup of like Mari getting the totem for the first time, her finding out that it has powers, and then she finds out, and you find out that she has a sister, and it turns out her sister Kuasa is pretty upset. Because
that's an understatement.
A little bit, because she feels like not only did their mother abandon her to save Mari, but also by leaving and taking the totem with her, she feels like her mother gave Mari her birthright by giving her the totem.
It's like, get over yourself, lady.
Yeah, so she's a little bitter.
A little bit. Again, understatement.
Oh, it's one of those things like, it's like Scar. It's like Scar and Mufasa.
Oh, Lord.
Like, Mari's just over here like, girl, I ain't even asked for all this responsibility.
And I ain't studying you.
Exactly. And like, Kuasa's just like, angry, just bitter and angry. And she's like, I did not. Like, she's like, I was trying to find a sister. I was trying to find some family. That was it.
Yeah.
And part of the reason that she ends up being, I guess, like, tricked by Kuasa is because the professor, played by Sean Patrick Thomas, actually gives her up to Kuasa.
Because he ain't shit.
Because he ain't shit. So, my favorite thing about the season 2 and the way it, like, started was that Mari shows up at the professor's lecture, and he is surprised to see her, because basically he expected her to be dead. Like, he was like, oh, hey, person who I totally fucked over, how you doing? And Mari's like, oh, are you surprised to see me? Because you kind of gave me up to my sister, who you know wanted to hurt me? Like,
surprise, bitch.
I know, it was like that American Horror Story gif. Surprise, bitch. Thought you seen the last of me. Like, the worst. Um, so what ends up happening in the second arc is that Mari finds out that her totem is not the only totem. Basically, it's a what's that Avatar
Part of
type?
a set.
Yeah, it's an Avatar
It's a
type
spirit.
situation.
It's a spirit because there's spirit, fire, air, water.
Yeah.
Spirit, fire, air, water, earth.
Earth. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like the 4 elements, and then the one that she has is the spirit totem, which is basically like animals and people. So
there's your MacGuffin. No,
I know. I was kind of like, really? Now there's 5 of these bitches? Where the other ones? Like, I was like, well, first of all, Mari's not that special. Second of all, so yeah, it's like the whole, we get the whole like African folk tale about like how there were like 5 of these totems, and when they were in harmony, everybody was prosperous, and and then the totems became too much power, and they had to be scattered, and da 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 da. So Mari has the spirit one. Then this villain gets a hold of the fire totem. And so Mari ends up teaming up with her sister, who's been weakened since they last fought. And they want to get the water totem so that they have something to fight the villain with. And then, what was the villain's name?
Esha.
Okay.
Eshu.
Yes, it was something like, I am very African. He looked very, yeah. He was giving me like Forrest Whitaker, Idi Amin vibes. like very like I am the general of child soldiers kind of a vibe. That's what I got from him. And of course it's like he's the same exact general who, came and destroyed their village, and that was the reason why Mari's mother had to run away, because, Africa's this big. Everything happens in this one village.
Yep. Africa is the size of a preschool playground.
Pretty much. So, of course, it all happened in this one village. And what ends up happening is that Mari teams up with Kawasa. Of course, Kawasa initially turns on her. Like, she just wants the water totem because she's trying to, like, gain back her strength.
Okay, so pause right there. I can't have been the only one watching this like, this ain't going to end well. This girl is going to turn on you. Why are you trusting her?
It was so funny.
She hates you. She blames you for the death of the mother and the loss of her birthright. This bitch gonna turn on you.
It was so funny because as I'm watching it, and like literally like at one point there, so Kawasa has been keeping track of all of these totems, and she says because one day she was going to buy them back for the village and restore them to the village. I was like, girl, you wasn't fitting to buy nothing.
Where's that me? Why you always lie?
You was fitting to figure out how you could steal them bitches. Anyway, so then they get into this, like, so it's in some, like, rich guy's house. And so it's, like, Felicity, voiced by Emily Bett Rickards, of course. Felicity is, like, on the comms, like, telling them where to go in this house because they're basically stealing it. They end up in, like, this room that's filled with all these, like, treasures. And I knew the sister was plotting as soon as, like, they walk in and they see all this stuff, and Mari's like, ooh, look at this list. She's like, the totem's over there. I was like, what is she finna do when she gets the totem? And, like, Felicity had, like, a really funny line, too. I'm not gonna remember it. But she was basically like they started arguing or something like that. And Felicity was like, guys, ooh, is something going on? Like, she's just like, she's like, I'm sensing that Someone has turned on someone. Like, the best. Um, and there's also a brief cameo by Firestorm, voiced by
Yes.
Firestorm, Black Firestorm. So I also really appreciate that, seeing Vixen and Black Firestorm
Yeah.
fighting side by side. And what ends up happening is that luckily Vixen did not think that Kuwasa was that good. So she did have a backup plan. So when she turns on her, um, Black Canary, and Adam actually come in to help her, and she convinces Kuwasa that like it's better for them to work together and take down this guy who destroyed their village and basically put them in the position that they're in.
Now here's where I got lost because I did not look it up. Where in the timeline is this taking place? Is that Laurel or is that Artemis?
Okay, so this is the thing. It is Laurel. So this
Okay.
is because this came out last summer. So this would have been no, because technically Laurel already died on Arrow, but I I initially actually thought that it was Sarah. So I was
Whoa.
confused because the fact that Ray was there made me immediately think that it was Sarah.
But
Because
Sarah's the white canary now.
I know,
That
but like I just always in my head, like if I see Adam, then I'm thinking Legends. So I assumed that it was
uh
Sarah, and then I went to see who the voices were, and I realized it was Katie Cassidy doing the voice, and I was like, oh, it's supposed to be Laurel. So I also was a little bit confused about where in the timeline it's supposed to be, because if you watched Arrow when Vixen guest starred, basically they were supposed to have met during the animated series, and that's why Oliver knew to call her to help. So I think this one, I guess technically must be set sometime before Laurel dies. But
okay.
it honestly doesn't make sense for Laurel to be working with Ray.
Not
Like,
at all.
yeah, like and that was the other thing. Firestorm too. So like, because Firestorm showed up and Ray showed up, I
And
assumed that it was Sarah.
the fact that it was Black Firestorm,
Yeah,
which made the team up between Adam and Black Canary make even less sense.
exactly. I just don't know if it was that with Katie having this like across the universe deal, that she was doing the voice and then they just made it fit the story because it's animated. But yeah, it just didn't make any sense to me that it was Laurel instead of Sarah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Katie Cassidy keeps a check, y'all. So there's
Hey,
that.
I wasn't a
You
big
know,
fan of her as Laura, but I'm not
yeah.
gonna knock her hustle.
Katie's like, you gonna run me my money. So,
Get your money, girl. Get your money.
um,
Pay me what you owe me.
you gonna pay what you owe. Like, that's Katie Cassidy, basically. So the three of them, end up teaming up with Kwasa to fight Eshu. These names. Um, and then Mari ends up trapping Eshu underwater, which weakens him, and she takes the fire totem from him, and then she has to destroy it.
But she drowns him, right?
She doesn't drown him. I think she just holds him underwater to weaken him, but she doesn't kill him. Cause
No, then he drags her back down. She drowns him because dude just kind of floated to the bottom of the ocean.
yeah, but I don't think she does it though. Like she lets go of him to save
After
her.
he drowned, she killed him.
It didn't feel malicious. It didn't feel like I'm drowning you. It felt like she was trying to weaken him, and then she got the totem
Oh
from him, and then,
you are
she
so
wasn't able to
excusing this
save
woman.
him.
You are so excusing this woman murdering this man. Oh my
Hey.
god.
I mean, to be
Oh.
honest, I'm one of those people that actually doesn't care if the bad guy dies.
I know, but
So
it's a point that needs to be made. She did murder him.
it didn't feel malicious.
What do you mean murder is malicious, girl? Stop.
Wait, but then also wait, I just want to point out that the voice actor for that character is under recurring. So maybe he's not dead. We don't know.
It's called flashbacks. That dude is dead.
Nobody, no death. Nobody, no
We
death.
saw the body go to the ocean floor, or sorry, the bottom of the Detroit River when they were in
We don't
Detroit.
know how good of a swimmer that man is.
Oh my God.
But then, so this is the thing that got me. So then she smashes the fire totem. And
We saw the water totem get destroyed by him when he burnt her sister to a crisp.
yeah, and the water totem is destroyed. So it's like, I don't know if the next series is going to be about the earth totem and the air totem, but is like basically the point to be like, by the time this is done, like she's going to be the only one with the actual totem left. Like,
Which is really convenient.
yeah, really convenient. And also like, are there no other good guys that could use these totems? Like,
well, I get the sense that it's linked to her village or
yeah,
the lineage in her village. So if everyone else is dead, well, now that the sister's dead.
true.
Although the general used it, so that may not even be true. Well, no.
Well, he wasn't from their village. But he was from.
The playground size of Africa
Yeah,
that exists in this universe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's from one village over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, it ends with her, Arrow, Flash, Black Canary, Atom going to Coast City to like fight somebody else. Like, they're like, oh, there's another threat. Want to come join us, Vixen? And they're all like best buddies who fight crime together.
Let's go fight.
I know.
Go fight, win.
And of course, like Oliver, like has some like, old man Oliver moment where he's just like,
when doesn't he have an old man moment?
He's just like, oh,
crotchety bastard.
This crazy magic stuff, he's just always just old man Oliver. And Barry's just all like, yay, we're best friends, like superhero team up.
Because that's Barry.
I also really like how they animate Cisco.
Yes.
Cisco, first of all, they give Carlos way more muscles in the animated version. I'm like,
he is so swole.
He is so buff. Like, I was like, animated Cisco could get it. Like, just saying. And I don't like. I mean, it's very true to like Stephen Amell. I just don't like how they do his 5 o'clock shadow. It looks rough.
It is so it's so weird.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it's needed.
Yeah. And I don't get it. But I thought they did a really nice job of like animating everybody. It's also funny to me because in real life, Megalyn has like a lot of hair, but the Vixen in the cartoon has like kind of this short, super cute bob. But then you see her live action and her hair is like really, really long.
Yeah.
So what did you think? What do you think of season 2 of Vixen?
It was enjoyable. It was entertaining. I don't feel like it was as good as season 1. Mm-hmm. Again, like we just talked about, the fact that Africa is the size of a preschool playground always bugs me when they do this. The fact that now, instead of there being this one special totem, which if you're going to steep something in mysticism, that's cool. But this just came across like, oh no, she's just someone lucky who found one and there's 4 others that apparently anyone can use kind of bugged me. The fact that she, despite your protestations, murdered that man. And no one blinked an eye.
Yeah, it clearly didn't faze me.
No, it didn't faze the team. I could see it not phasing Oliver, because Oliver will shoot a person in the face and keep it moving, but nobody else got bothered by that. Nobody else was disturbed. Come on, son.
Nobody knows what
Come on.
happened in the water. They're just like, oh, she probably
I'm gonna
couldn't.
need, ma'am. I'm
She
gonna need
couldn't
you to
save
stop.
him. She
I
couldn't
need
save
you to
him.
stop. Oh my God. Stop defending this. But no, I did enjoy it. It was enjoyable. I feel like season 1 was the stronger season.
Yeah.
What I hope they don't do is every season is about finding one of these damn totems.
Yes. Which I totally think is going to happen next season. Just so you know.
God damn it.
What I like. I obviously want like all of the Vixen. Like I would be really, really happy if they like if it was like a regular thing and not just like these kind of like mini episodes. I would totally watch like a weekly Vixen series. Um, what I really what I find really interesting, and they haven't really explored it on the TV show, the live action series, so I would love to see it in the animated series, is this juxtaposition between the two Vixens. Like now the Legends team knows Vixen really, really well. Like
Hmm.
their Vixen, Amaya. And I know they're not supposed to like play with time or whatever, but the fact that Mari is an orphan, and now also, have they met? Have Oliver or has Oliver or Barry met Amaya? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
during the crossover.
Yeah, during the crossover,
They didn't
right?
share, they
So
didn't like talk on screen that we saw, but they met him during the crossover.
yeah, so I would love to see that explored during the animated series if it's not something that they can fit into the live action series. Like the fact that they know her grandmother and she clearly wants to know more about her family and not just like the evil sister. Like,
Yeah.
but like that they like, hey, like your grandmother was a part of the JSA. She, like
Which
giving
begs
that
the
sort of
question, her grandmother supposedly falls in love with what, Rex is his name?
mhm.
Then they go back to Africa and have the daughter who would be Mari's mom. How does this work?
I'm thinking actually that Amaya does not end up with Rex.
Well, yeah, well, we know now she
Yeah.
doesn't. He's dead.
Yeah. But I mean, her whole thing is, yeah, she wants to go. So I'm thinking, like, at some point,
Even before Thawne, they didn't end up together.
yeah, that even before Dawn, they didn't end up together. That at some point when she retires, she goes back to her village. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And we saw like in the '80s that the JSA was just all defunct and everybody had gone their separate ways. So I'm guessing we'll
Yeah.
see something like that. But yeah, so I really want more in the animated series to connect to what's happening in the live action series. And I mean, they keep hinting that perhaps there's going to be another new live action series. Although sometimes I'm like, y'all are stretching yourselves too thin. I don't know if I want y'all to. And that's why I was
Because it's starting to
actually,
show. The problem is it's starting to show.
yeah, that's why I actually would like it to be Vixen if they're going to do a new live action show, because they've already done the setup for it. We
Yeah.
won't have to like do that awfulness that we had with Legends, where it was just like Arrow and Flash spending so much time setting up Legends that both of their seasons suffered for it. And also, like, they were also stretched extra thin because they were trying to launch Supergirl at the same time, too. So I would love them to do Vixen just because I feel like you already have done the setup with the CWC stuff. She's already guest starred on Arrow. You have Amaya in Legends. Like, you could just, like, hit the ground running, and we don't have to do, like, I don't know, like, Cisco meets a barista again. Still angry about that.
Oh, the xenomorph. Let us not speak of her.
Yeah. But yeah, before she comes back and guest stars on an episode.
Yep. See, stop talking that hoe up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I called her a hoe. I don't like her.
Don't write us, or if you're gonna write the doctor
I ain't
directly.
scared. I ain't never scared. What?
I'm like,
What?
they can at you. Don't at me, because I'm not talking about Dr. Teeth no more.
Every time they bring her up, I pop that picture of that xenomorph from Aliens and keep it pressing because that's what I think of when I see her face.
All right, so that's our review of the Vixen series and what we want to see. No. Um, no, I actually really enjoy this. And if you're not watching it, like I said, it's just a half hour. Each season is a half hour. You can watch it on the CW website, cwtv.com, or you can download the CW Seed app. You cannot, if you have the CW app, you cannot watch it on the CW app, which is really
I did.
annoying. On
I
the
did.
app? When I was
Yeah.
on the app and I clicked it, it was like, you have to download the CW Seed app to watch this.
No, I have the CW app on my Xbox, and it played.
Mm,
They had
okay.
the
Maybe it was,
individual episodes, and then they had it bundled in the 30-minute clip. And I just watched. I hit play, and it went to it played.
okay. Maybe because I was doing it on my phone.
Oh yeah, that's probably what it was.
Yeah. Because on my phone, it was like, nah, son, you gotta get the CWC app. And I was like, really? I was so annoyed. I was like, why is it not all in one place? But I was able to watch it on the website, so it didn't matter to me. So yeah, that I would say check those out if you haven't already seen them. I am definitely going to try and read Vixen: Return of the Lion because I want to check out her comics, and also because G. Willow Woodson is. If you're not reading the Miss Marvel comics, you have to rectify that because I love G. Willow Woodson. Also, if you follow her on Twitter, she is so cute on Twitter. Cause I'm like every time she like posts something, I want to be like, comic book writers, they're just like us. Because she's always like, you guys, I got sorted into Hufflepuff today. Like, why are you so cute? Like, she just cracks me up. Yeah, so that series, Vixen: Return of the Lion, is on Comixology. So if anyone is interested in that, go ahead and check that out too. And it's just 5 issues. Yeah. So when does Supergirl come back? I feel like
The
you would
sixth
know
next Monday.
that. So we will be back soon to discuss Supergirl. I, you know, have been very tired, guys. But I am excited for these CW shows to come back. And I feel like things are coming back gradually. I'm not quite feeling overwhelmed yet. I'm sure that'll change very soon. But I'm excited to have Supergirl come back. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is already back, which I just think is crazy because last year the hiatus was so long. When they were like, it's coming back in the beginning of January, I was like, who made that decision? Like, this is awesome. Like, because last year I feel like the hiatus was like 100 years long. So yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is back. Supergirl is about to come back. Legends got moved to Tuesday nights, so Tuesday nights is about to be packed full of stuff.
Yeah, it
Um,
is.
yeah, I'm just know I might not get to a lot of stuff till Friday, but I'm gonna try. Um, yeah, so I'm excited. Anything else you're excited for coming up?
Oh. Hmm. I'm drawing a blank.
It's fine. I literally have a
I'm
stack of
drawing such a
comics.
blank, and that's terrible. Oh my
It's
god, why
fine.
am I drawing a blank?
I have a stack of comics also that I need to get to. I went to my comic book guy yesterday,
Oh,
and I have
oh.
a whole entire stack now to read. Go ahead.
Oh,
You
I'm
gasped. Go ahead.
no, I lost it again. Y'all, forgive us. We are recording at 10:20, and I am old. I am normally in the bed, half passed out by now. I can't keep my thoughts straight. I'm sorry. I can't remember.
It's fine.
Oh, help me, Lord, help me.
It's totally fine. I went to the comic book shop yesterday and I realized recently that I missed a whole entire arc of Thor. So I
Oh,
ended up,
wow.
yeah, so I ended up having to
Oh,
buy
but
like eight, like 8 issues.
I was gonna say you normally set up the pull list. How'd you miss that one?
Something wonky happened with my pull list because of the what are those things called? Because of the Civil War
Oh,
tie-in, like something wonky happened with my pull list, and so it just wasn't registering. Like so, I didn't. I get so many comics, and I get usually like a big stack at a time. So I just didn't realize that that wasn't part of it, and I realized I had missed a bunch of issues. So I have a whole stack of Thors to read.
oh! You also, even though you fuss at us, have to go ahead and Lord, read the Vader series.
Yes, I am going to read the Vader series, but for that one, I'm waiting because my comic book guy also told me that the trick is to wait for the second hardcover to come out. It's usually
Oh,
a
so you're
better
getting the
price.
hardcovers because I've read it all on digital.
Yeah. Well, I go back and forth. Like sometimes I do digital for certain titles, and then sometimes I will do digital, especially if there's a sale. So if there's like a special, then I might
Hmm.
just grab it digital. But I do like the physical things, and I set up a comic book shelf on my wall. I hung a shelf, guys, just for my comics and my Funkos. So now I'm like,
Oh, my
I'm
10. I told you
fancy.
my 10 came today.
Yeah. Oh,
So
and
now I
my
have
my
10,
General
11,
Leia
and
too.
12. I got my 10 today. I already had oh, sorry for those who don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Doctor Who, the 10th Doctor with his brown overcoat and his blue suit. And I have my 11, and then I have my 12, not the one with the guitar, but the one with his black suit. And I have my TARDIS. So I got to find 9, the War Doctor. Obviously, I have to get River Song because you can't have the Doctors without River Song. You just would be failing at life. So I'm going back and forth between getting 9 and River. I'm going to probably go with River
I'm
will be my next
so happy
purchase.
that I started this obsession.
Thank you for introducing me to it. I love it. And I keep them in their boxes. They just stay in their boxes. I take them
Sometimes,
out sometimes to take pictures of them
yeah.
when I'm playing around with my light box, but mostly they just stay in their boxes.
When we recorded our episode of Slingshot, that was the day that Carrie Fisher unfortunately passed away, and it was
Hmm.
also the day that I ordered my General Leia Funko Pop, who came, and she's so cute, and she's sitting on my desk right now.
Oh, the other thing is, for those of you who may have missed it, they did bury them together essentially. Carrie had it apparently that I think she probably already had it arranged to be cremated. But she had this big mock Prozac pill,
Yes.
and they put her ashes inside that, and then put that pill inside of the casket with Debbie Reynolds, and then interred them together. And I just thought
Oh.
that was so sweet and so Carrie in terms of having that big ass Prozac pill for her
She's so
ashes.
perfect. She's so
Oh.
perfect and so irreverent, and like I told the doctor this earlier. I am a Johnny Come Lately Carrie Fisher fan. Not because I didn't always like Carrie Fisher, but I really just knew her as Princess Leia. And now I'm like learning all this other stuff about her and seeing all the other books and stuff that she read, and like I'm just even more in love with her than I already was just from her being Princess Leia.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize all the script doctoring she had done
No.
because they don't credit script doctors for that, but she saved a lot of movies and shows. Oh my gosh. And then some she just couldn't save, like George Lucas had her working on the prequels and she was like, I can't say this
She's like,
shit.
I can't.
I tried
See,
to.
ain't nobody can
But can
say
you
it.
imagine? But here's the thing, she did work on them. Can you imagine how much worse they would have done
No, you know
without
what? She probably was like, you know, at some point she was like, "Can we get rid of Jar Jar?" And he was like, "No, Jar Jar, I gotta stay." And she was just like, "Then I gotta just put my hands up. I just gotta give it up to God. There's nothing else I can do, George. You won't let me just cut this character, so this is all I can do."
her.
All right, that's it for us, you guys. We could literally talk forever until we fall asleep, but like the doctor's clearly about to fall asleep right
Sorry.
now.
I'm old, y'all. I own it. I'm old. I'm
It's
old.
fine. There's a 3 hour time difference, and I'm probably also gonna go to bed as soon as this is done because I am also old and tired. But thank you guys, and we can't wait to talk Supergirl soon. You know, see our boos back on screen.
Yes, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's find out what's happening. Who's coming from
Yes.
Monel? Who is
Mm.
coming from Monel?
Who's
When will
coming from
Kara learn?
my baby in his arms?
Karen, when will Kara learn that Jimmy is the guardian? What's happening? What's happening with Alex and Maggie? Is the love enduring?
Oh yes, I can't wait. Oh my gosh.
Where's Daddy Jeremiah? Problematic Dean Cain. Where are you? I like
Problematic
you, Dean, but you're
DK.
slightly problematic, brother. It's all right.
Oh
I'll still
gosh.
watch your shows for now unless you say something real ridiculous.
Oh gosh. You guys are the worst. All right. Tune in next time when we find out what's happening with problematic Dean Kane.
Bye.
Bye.